Great. First of all, thank you for having us on today's this Oxygenate session. I just want to introduce myself first. I'm Khurram. I'm leading the digital engineering practice at Lebara. I'm not about to talk to you about entire AI journey that we have right now, but it's more about our pathway to adapting to this WSO2 as a partnership, and how did we reach there, and why did we do it. So I'll quickly walk you through the agenda of today's session. We'll talk to you a little bit. I will try to give you a little bit perspective of our entire digital transformation first, because CIEM was a very important part of it. So context is essential. And then why we chose WSO2, what key factors were considered, and of course, the overall challenges that we faced during the migration in itself. And then of course, if you guys have any questions at the end, I'm happy to answer those. For those of you who don't know us, I think a quick intro of Lebara. We are an MVNO organization based out of Europe and the UK. We are quite known for our affordability and reliability on the network. Our main mission is to make sure that our global connection is simple and affordable for our customers. And we empower this through our communities, to empower the communities for our customers so they can stay in touch with their peers, their friends, and whatever matters most for them. Our current reach is pretty much Europe, which is Germany, France, Netherlands, and Denmark, and we're also in UK, and trying to see how we can expand across Europe as well. Our main point of thing is we offer really low-cost international calling propositions for our customers, which has a very strong network partnerships with our MNOs. I think in UK we use Vodafone. And of course, providing some interfaces which will ease the customer journey for any top-ups or any self-service capabilities. We're in the market for pretty much 12 plus years. And yeah, that's the reason why it calls us the smarter way to connect. Giving you a little bit perspective of our digital transformation. I think we've been thinking about this for a long time, 3-4 years back, because some of the issues that were faced overall by the organization kept us in that continuous thrust of challenge of growth. We had a very slow delivery process at that time, some limitations in order to be competitive in the market with products and promotions that we offer. Of course, the content management system was tech-led, giving a bit disruption to our markets to be very SEO instrumental. And then very few insufficient customer self-care journeys were available at that time, and we have an outdated technology. So the business came up with a vision that we want to empower our customers. We want to make sure that we are the digital front for them, and they start to cater those self-service capabilities and start utilization of our product fairly quickly. So as part of the transformation journey, we accomplished some of the wider goals. We have provided an enterprise-level product catalog to our key marketeers who can make change in propositions and pricing on the go to be very competitive. We also built a modern website using single-page application, React, and technology like that. We also provided an Adobe suite to run our campaigns and manage the content by the markets. We also launched a brand new app, which provides a lot more journeys that can be self-catered by our customers. And in order to improve our delivery process, we also ingested the Safe Agile framework, which has been adapted by the organization, and we kind of manage our portfolio through safe practices. Now, with delivering all of these, I think one major piece of the puzzle still remains, which is our old CIEM system. Now, why it was very important? Because it is not just a technology change. It is the way we interact with our customer base to allow them to access their most important critical data, like their personal information, payment information. So it was kind of very important for us to find the right solution. Our previous system was based on SPS, Auth, and OpenLDAP. And we kind of did a very rigorous process to to identify the right platform, which could help us in our digital growth strategy, because the whole transformation was aimed for that. Of course, with rising cybersecurity threats after COVID and pandemic, I think that became very vital. So we need a system that can assure us that. Of course, CIM is critical for the business, and it needed to be compliant as well. We are a regulated organization, so PCI, everything needs to be complied with that. After a lot of discussions, a lot of different assessment, we chose WSO2. Of course, the first and foremost, their enterprise-grade security was really valuable for us, and we needed a system that can be strong in terms of keeping the customer credentials and everything. Second, cost-effective and transparent. I think the model that we have adapted for at that time was very flexible. We were able to pretty much use the core that we wanted to drive our customer base to grow. And it was transparent. There was no add-on costs and things like that associated to it. If you look at the flexibility and extensibility, which I think as being Lebara, we have a lot of customization and different integration. WSO2 provided a kind of a visibility of the solution that seamlessly integrated with and became part of a digital family. And lastly, of course, scalability for growth. We want to make sure as we increase our customer base, how does this impact on the platform? So I think overall, I think the model actually worked out for us. And I think the subscription were kind of very, very aligned with what the growth model that Lebara was opting for at that time. While we chose the platform we want to opt for, the migration at the initial stage was very challenging for us as well. We have a very complex infrastructure. I think we use Azure and AWS at the same time. So a lot of Terraform script were failing at that time when we were implementing it. We also had a lot of latency in terms of our performance of different critical journeys, and it was not up to the par when we were implementing it. And it also hurdled with our New Relic monitoring tool, because we were not getting the right optimal information in our New Relic for active monitoring, because this is like our core-based customers, and if you don't know what problem they're facing, we will not be able to resolve that for them. So this was a moment where we realized just about closing the entire transformation. It was a very, the stakes were high. We were about to make a breakthrough, but this issue actually put us back, and we had to take a hard decision where I need to pretty much communicate to our stakeholders, we need to take a pause. So transformation has to wait until we have come back with the right strategy to remold our new implementation. This actually gave us also an opportunity to think back and see where we are failing, what exactly the expectation from our stakeholders are, and how do we go about it again to hunt for something. There were a lot of challenges. I will take you through that as well, what sort of expectations were there. But from security side, we wanted to make sure they kind of started to not to trust us in terms of the data security, because they want to make sure the migration should be completely trailed as well, because for PCI, we need to make sure if we are changing the system, we need to provide that trail of logs as well. We had to perform a lot of dry runs to make sure the platform we are trying to opt for now will be stable. And then, of course, alerts are quite important for them to understand how the abnormality are, if there are any attacks, so they can easily identify that. From product side of things, I think business does not want to stop. They want to make sure the service is continued to our customers. They wanted to make sure that this transition is seamless. They don't want people to reset their passwords. They just want to make sure that customers can keep going as is. And of course, we wanted to avoid the downtime. So quite critical requirements from product side as well. Lastly, operations team. Of course, because our incident management team wants to have a kind of a trust on us that all the monitoring that we're trying to put in will be of the right standard. If there's a rollout, there will be no customers at stake because, of course, we don't want to interrupt our usual business. And they need strong proof that new system can handle the load because, yes, we are pretty much 5.5 million active customers, so we want to make sure the load is resistant. We also put a lot of testing approaches into the system as well. We went with functional testing, user acceptance testing, penetration testing. Load testing, for example, really helped us understand how many concurrent sessions can it load. Performance-wise, I think we wanted to make sure it can load the amount of customers in there, and their speed of transaction is not minimized. We also did failover testing. There something fails at the environment, it is not just going to bring the entire environment down. So all of these approaches were considered as well. Now, these are kind of a lot of challenges if you take Lebara itself alone, because of course we have a technology stack, but we are not just a tech organization. We have a service to provide to our partners, and that's where we needed help. So I really want to appreciate our partner Yanlow and WSO2 who came forward. They didn't just understood our challenges, but they co-owned it as well with us and helped us in this entire journey for getting us live. So really appreciate both Yanlow and WSO2 on that. If I talk about the main challenge, once we finalize a new partner who needs to help us in this migration, the scale of migration was about 9 million subscribers that we have in our database. Of course, not all 9 million are active, but in order to do the migration, we had to move the entire customer base to the new platform. And of course, we were at very crucial timelines, so urgency was there. We had to decommission previous system to cut down our cost and be resilient in terms of security. So we opted for 3 different approaches. We came back to the business by giving an option that migrating the hash passwords and LDAP into WSO2 directly as is. This option could have saved us a lot of time because we could have easily moved the entire base there and switched off our old system, but it caused security concerns because the LDAP hashing was not very resilient. And that's why we wanted to use the new hashing mechanism that WSO2 offers. So first option pretty much was pushed back by our security team. The second option was to load only the entities, the entire data entities, but without passwords. And we do this migration of password on the go, which actually means we can pretty much cut down our entire CIM old system, but keep very small thin layer, which is the password checker only. That was the second option. Of course, this means we have to keep the system lights on for a longer time, but at a very minimal level. And that's where the third solution got rejected as well, because if the third option was to do a runtime migration. Let's not close the lights at all. I mean, keeping the entire old platform as well as long as we have customers migration is in process. So at the end, we kind of went with option number 2 because although it does not 100% covered what the requirements were, because with this approach, we had to ask customers to log in again because we had to destroy the sessions, but it gave a very resilient solution that this can be easily migrated without much impact there. With the support of WSO2, I think we came up with a utility because we were trying to do different POCs, how to handle this 9 million migration in a limited time. And that's where we got some support in terms of getting a customized solution. The prerequisites were pretty much to have a secondary user store and a supertenant that can help us pick the entire 9 million customer entities and move to the new environment. So what we did was we load the entire customer data into WSO2 identity. Then we did a logout to all our existing entries to old CIEM system, including any integration that was there. And then we pretty much run the password migration on the go. This actually helped us minimizing the user experience overall because customer does not need to reset their password, which I think we managed to achieve. I agree there was a little bit downtime, but it was at a really unproductive time, I would say, very late hours for 2 hours. And a new acquisition did not get interrupted. So any new customer trying to acquire Lebara SIM or package, they were able to get that without interruption. And user did not need to change their password. They just need to re-log in because we have to destroy the session for them. It seems simple, but I think if you look at it, we have spent about 40 hours to migrate our entire base of customers. Keeping into little sense, like a size of a city. I mean, if you think about London as a city, the entire people, civilians, needs to be updated to a new system. That sort of scale it was. We did 10 hours of non-stop cutover calls, which includes people from 12 different countries, including WSO2 and Yanlow as part of it, because we have a lot of different consultants who were working on the migration night as well. So it was pretty huge for us. Of course, the value we achieved, we have successfully achieved the milestone, which was a key part of our digital transformation. We were able to get a stronger security compliance from this, and it is a roadmap for digital growth, which I'll share some of the use case we already started working on. Currently, we are already giving authenticated SIM swap journey via bot platform, which allows our customers 24/7, if they have to buy, maybe do a small top up, or run some of these journeys, like if they have to port out, port in, or do SIM swap. All of this is possible via our bot engine, and we authenticate our customers within that area as well. It has also given us an opportunity to train our LLM, which is understanding the customer needs as per the interactions, and we are trying to give them propositions to buy more, or if they're in tune to leave us, then we can have this retention, or you can say churn prediction model that can help them retain as well by giving them better offerings. We're also working on a hierarchy for families because right now, although customers can buy multi-SIM, but now they will be able to nominate a master account who will be the key user to get the visibility of its listed SIMs, take payment decisions, upgrade, downgrade, however they want to move forward. That's also there. And we're trying to inject the passwordless and social login integration as part of this implementation as well. Another use case that we are actively working on is digital first loyalty and rewards program. Working with this data, I think we're able to propose our subscribers a better experience and a personalized offers that they can convert to rewards as well later on. So that's pretty much, but I just want to wrap up by giving you a quick lesson that we learned as part of this migration. We recommend that you should understand your challenges because, and in order to get the right output, you know what you're looking for. I think that's very important. And sometimes, sometimes success hurdles with your planning as well. So plan and replan if needed. Don't hesitate, because that will bring the right output for you. Also, it's important to explore all available possibilities to test, do POCs, check for your custom implementations, because the more clarity you have, the better solution you can build. And always treat your obstacles as a test, because this will help you build better solutions. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, please, I'm here to answer.